Alright, so what's up everybody? Today is my second video starting my every week release. This technically isn't 1 week since, it's actually a week and 2 days because I released my last video on October 8th. But anyways, the video I want to touch on today about Lost is Season 3 episode Not in Portland. I think this this episode here is very important because it talks about a lot about Juliet, it's got Ethan in it, and it's got Richard Alpert. First thing is at the beginning of the episode we see Juliet sitting out on the beach. Of course they make you think that she's on the island, but she's not. She goes inside and she's walking down the hallway and the lights are flickering above her head, and she's walking, and all of a sudden you see Ethan come around the corner. Ethan looks at her, smiles, and says hello. And the question I got for you guys is, what was Ethan doing there, first of all? Because I'll get to what's going on later in the episode, but why was Ethan there? Because her sister obviously has cancer. She's got the thing on her head because she lost her hair. Was Ethan doing something to her like he was to Claire? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. Let me know what you guys think in a text, comment, or a video response. So later on in the episode, we see Richard Alpert and Juliet having a meeting. Richard is trying to pitch to Juliet that, you know, she can have unlimited money, all the time that she needs to figure out how to correct the pregnancy situation in Portland. But of course we know it's the island that he's talking about. But the thing about this part of the episode is that Juliet's very upset because of her ex-husband. She knows that Edmund will never let her leave, you know, to go work for someone else. And I gotta say, Edmund's a real asshole. I mean, I just gotta put it out there. This guy seems like he doesn't care about anything but money and women, and that's pretty obvious about the things that he says to Juliet and stuff like that. But anyways, it's funny though when Juliet, she's really upset, and she says to Alpert, he says, is there any way that we can maybe reach out to him to get him to change his mind? She's like, well, maybe if he gets hit by a bus. And I'll touch on what happens later in the episode. I think it's very funny that he says that, is there any way we can reach out to him to get him to change his mind? I think that's very significant in everything that's going on in Lost right now. Alright, so later on in the episode, we see Juliet coming in to talk to her sister, and her sister says that she's pregnant. Now the reason why I think Richard Alpert was reaching out to Juliet in the first place is because she is the only one on the island that is going to be able to deliver a child after the statue falls or whatever. Well, maybe before. I don't know. But I think it's very important that they reached out to her in this time in her life. Next we see Juliet with Edmund out on the street, and she tells Edmund that my sister's pregnant. Edmund's like, alright, I need to see your files, you know, blah blah, we need, and she says, no, I don't want to publicize this, you know. And so then Edmund's like, he turns around, starts walking the street, and all of a sudden, I mean, it's kind of cheesy the way they did this scene. He steps out in the middle and it's like, bam, bus hits him. I mean, I understand they got to do what they got to do, but who interfered with that? Was it just Juliet that made that happen, or did somebody interact with that meeting to make him walk out in that street? Because it's kind of like in season 5 when Saeed and Nadia was walking in the street, and Jacob grabbed Saeed and says, hey, can you, he grabbed him when he was getting ready to walk in the street, and he's like, can you show me where to go? And then all of a sudden, bam, Nadia gets hit. I think this is very significant, and I hope we find out more in season 6 about what's going on about these people getting hit by vehicles. Alright, so the next thing I want to touch on is towards the end of the show. And this is very, very important. This is the most important part I want to talk about. Is that Juliet is crying about Edmund. He's dead now because he got hit by the bus. Don't ask me why she's crying about it, because he was a dick. But anyways, Ethan walks up, hands her them little mini travel packets of tissues, And she takes one and she's wiping her eyes, and she says, she looks at him, she's like, "Have we met?" And before he has a chance to say anything, not that he would say anything at all, Richard comes up and says, "I'm very sorry to hear what happened. I saw it on the news, and your office said you'd be down here." First of all, do you really think that Richard was watching the news? Do you think he called her office or went to her office and asked where she was? No. I think he knew where she was at all along, because this has all been done before. They need her for a specific reason. It's either something to do with the rest of the Losties, or something to do with Ethan had to be born. That's why Ethan's here now. So Richard introduces Ethan, and Ethan gives her like one of them, I don't know what to call it, but he looks like he's looking her in the face to realize who she is. And it's like he's almost excited to me, because I think that he knows that she is the one that will be the doctor that delivers him 30 years ago. Now give yourself a couple minutes, pause the video, and think about that. So after Ethan tells Juliet that it's been a pleasure to meet you, Juliet realizes what she said in the interview. She said, "I wanted him to get hit by a bus," and Alpert says that I'm sorry, I realized that you was there, and she's like, no, I wanted him to get hit by a bus. And then Alpert's like, "I understand you're under a lot of stress right now, but you can't blame yourself for this." And then she's like, "No, in the interview I told you I wanted him to get hit by a bus." Alpert's like, I don't really remember you saying that. Like he's stuttering, like he's getting nervous. He knows what she said. So Juliet asks Mr. Alpert, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "I know it's horrible timing, but we're that serious about getting you to come work for us." And he says, "If you need to be, you'll be back in 6 months before your sister gives birth." Now how does he know that, guys? Come on, think about it. He knows it because it's probably either going to happen or it's already happened. Juliet asks, "How do you know that my sister's pregnant?" What's Richard Alpert saying? "We're very thorough in our recruitment process." Yeah, I bet you are. And the whole time they're talking about trying to get Juliet to come to the island and get her back in 6 months before her sister has birth, the camera keeps panning on Ethan, and if you look in his eyes, he's like kind of scanning her, up and down, trying to hope that she comes, because I think that he knows that if she don't come, he ain't gonna get born. So I think it's very important that she is there in the 1970s to have him born. That's my belief in that. So, hey guys, check out my new channel down here, and subscribe to it. Stay a subscriber on this channel that you're looking at this video now. And thanks a lot for viewing. Like I said before, rate it 5 stars even though it's crap. Tell your friends about it. Thanks for viewing, guys, and more videos to come. Like I said, I'm going to try to do a video once a week. Might not be exactly a week from now, but it'll be within the same time period. Have a good one, and take care.